please tell us your name and something about your background. I guess tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay, my name is Lydia Gober, and I've lived in the colony for 3 years. I'm married to Albert, and we have 2 children, Jessica, who is 12, and Adam, who is 9.
What prompted you and Al to choose the colony as a place to live?
About 4 years ago, Al was finishing some graduate work back in Illinois, and we were freezing every winter, and we were thinking about all of the possible places we might move after Al finished his graduate work. And as we looked around to warmer climates, we looked at Texas as a strong possibility because my husband's father was a native Texan, and there were 13 in his family, and there were a lot of them scattered all over West Texas and Central Texas. So we thought if we decided to go to Texas, that would be a good opportunity to get reacquainted, or actually freshly acquainted with a lot of the family people in Texas. So at the opportune time, Al was able to secure a position with Texas Instruments in Louisville, and the realtor brought us to all of the surrounding areas, including Louisville and the colony, to look at homes. And as it happened, we wanted to live in a community that was accessible to a big city with all of its cultural and recreational and nifty things to do, but have kind of a country atmosphere and a small town atmosphere. So the colony was one of those places that was able to offer that. And besides that, there was a home that we liked and that fit into our financial situation. So here we are.
Okay. You were saying that Al worked for Texas Instruments, and you were executive vice president of the chamber. Tell me a little bit about your position there with the chamber here in the colony.
Well, probably a little later I'll be talking a little bit more about the chamber and how it got started, but the chamber is fairly new, and I am the first employee of the Chamber of Commerce, and that means that I really have many hats in the chamber office. And as executive vice president, I'm largely responsible for the management of the organization itself and seeing that the wishes and the programs and activities that the board of directors establishes are implemented. And currently that means everything from answering the telephone every day in the office, doing any typing and clerical work that needs to be done. Also means working with the board of directors and the other volunteers. It means recruiting volunteers, training volunteers, helping with long-range planning and evaluating various needs of the chamber and the business community and putting that all into place. It also means things like editing a monthly newsletter, attending meetings in the community to learn more about how the chamber can relate to other organizations, and generally being available to chamber members to help meet their needs.
Okay. Speaking of the chamber and its concerns with the community, maybe now we could go to the point of how the chamber, I guess, more or less was organized and got started in the colony.
Well, like most groups, James, I think they formed an organization of business people because they realized that there was more strength in numbers than any individual person or business trying to accomplish something in the community. Chambers of Commerce, as I've learned since I've been with the chamber, actually began a long time ago in the Mediterranean territories of Babylonia and those areas where the traders and the merchants began to realize that they had greater strength in working with a certain government about trade regulations or getting more money here or there for their products by banding together instead of working on an individual basis. And so chambers began that way. And this chamber probably was not much different than those traders because, as I understand it, that was before my time in the colony, but back in the mid-'70s when people were starting to come here in larger numbers and businesses were starting to come in, the business people kind of formed a little group so that they would be able to talk about what would help promote business better in the community, what would help get more people to shop here with them than going to Louisville or Carrollton or Plano. And several people of the merchants group started looking at the official organization of the Chamber of Commerce and what that could mean to a community. And as they worked with it, they did decide that they wanted to have an actual official chamber of commerce, as opposed to a kind of loosely knit, not real strong organization of merchants. So the organization was formed, as I understand it, and chartered in 1979. And some of the people who were involved early on, as I understand it, were people like Steve Hines and Bill Backer and Carol Howard, and really a lot of other people that I don't know all the names of because I'm fairly recently with the chamber. But they actually got it on board, got themselves incorporated with the state of Texas, and formed a board of directors and started working together on some of their needs as business people.
I was thinking, yes, as far as functions, wasn't one of the first things they did was to form an industrial board? Was it called an industrial advisory board?
Probably Industrial Development Committee or something like that. There are a lot of functions that a chamber can perform in a community. The first one has to do with the support of the business community, because it is a volunteer organization of business people, and they are interested in how to promote business in the community and create a healthy environment for a strong economy. The second major purpose of the chamber is to ensure sort of the best possible development of the community they work in and have a business in. And so here in the colony, the chamber's been interested in the prospects for getting more industry, or getting industry, period, into the colony, since really the home building industry is about the only one that we have here. So an industrial development committee was formed as a part of the chamber as one of the work areas. And one of the things that was done about 2.5 years ago was to have an exhibit at the Business and Industry Exposition down in Market Hall in Dallas. And that was by way of attempting to attract some businesses and light industry to look at the colony as a place to settle. So industrial development is one of the areas, and if you like, I'll share some of the other work areas that we have in the chamber.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay. We have a committee, or actually a division called Education, and that group works with both the public school district and seeing how there might be partnerships formed between the business community and the schools. And that education committee actually also works with ways to help the business people learn more about what they're doing to be more productive. For instance, last year they held a seminar on how your public image pays off in getting and keeping customers. So they do a combination of public education work and working to help their own business people. We have a special events committee, and one of the things that they have established is an annual fishing tournament here on Lake Louisville. We feel as a chamber that one of our greatest attractions in the colony is the lake, and we'd like to highlight more the lake in the life of the city. So the fishing tournament brings people from all around North Texas here who want to come and fish for bass or sand bass or crappie or whatever. And so that is a way of attracting people to the colony, getting some new people into town, bringing some people in for that particular day, and they perhaps will partake of some of our business services and whatever. Special Events also does other kinds of fundraising for the chamber itself, since we're a nonprofit organization and have our memberships to basically support our work. Another area we have is community development, and one of the areas under community development is beautification. And this past year, the chamber sort of revived a previous program of having a kind of lawn of the month program where we put a blue ribbon sign on a lawn that was particularly attractive, where someone had paid special attention to keeping the outside of their home looking attractively. Also, we have retail development under our industrial development area. We actually call that economic development. And we recently have had a group of people meeting with the city council to work on some of the ordinances, such as sign ordinances and permits regarding outside sales and things like that, where some of the merchants are feeling that they want to improve the capabilities of sales, and by sitting down with the city council, they're getting better acquainted and they're getting an idea what the needs are of the business community. not saying, I'm trying to think of some of the others. One of the biggest things that the Chamber does is promote the colony as a great place to live, a great place to have a business. And some of the ways that we've been doing that are by having the first postcard of the colony itself. We have not had such a picture postcard in the past, so one of our Chamber members, who's a commercial photographer, put together a very nice postcard. Okay, just is it caused a problem when in 1984 was establish an attractive pictorial panel in the Dallas Living Center, which is a resource center for people who want to move to the Metroplex. And at the Dallas Living Center, through the Chamber's work, we have literature on the colony, and anyone who's interested in moving up in this direction from Dallas will get from the people at the Dallas Living Center brochures about the colony and that sort of thing. When we were talking before, Jim, about industrial and business recruitment, one of the things that we do is provide literature for prospective businesses. People will come into the Chamber office frequently. I have people come into the Chamber office and they want demographic information about the city of the colony. Who lives here? Where do they come from? Where do they work? What is their average income? What type of transportation? And then what are the specifics on the city of the colony in terms of utilities, educational system, climate, population, taxes, that sort of thing. So we have a variety of information that we provide for that. We also provide city maps for people who are looking to find their way around the city. And one of the things that we've done to promote business this last year is to institute an annual shopping guide publication which lists all Chamber member businesses according to categories. People can just keep this by their telephone and use it for reference. So providing literature, we provide a lot of information, we provide a lot of referral kind of information. When people call and say, where do I go to get my license plate changed? Where do I go for assistance with my elderly parent? Where do I go for a building permit? And questions of all sorts of things like that. So our office has really become quite a lot of information referral, much like the library.
Okay. We've pretty much covered where we came from and where we are now. Can you tell me a little of what sort of plans the Chamber has or what they see in the future for the colony or in the future for themselves and in the development with the city?
Well, all you have to do is look around and you can see pretty quickly that we have quite a bit of building going on right now. Some of our, we're getting new shopping centers, a little small, but nevertheless additional shopping centers into the colony. I'm aware that there are some moves afoot for getting additional public recreational services, not from the city, but from business people who are bringing recreational services here, such as maybe bowling or theater or other kinds of restaurants. And I think that's very much in the future. We all are aware of the need for recreational things, and I see that coming. I think that with the coming of EDS and Frito-Lay, just about 3 miles from our city proper, there will be a lot of gradual, not real all of a sudden kind of flow, but a gradual influx of people who will be moving to this area. Not long ago, EDS contacted us for updated demographic material because they were receiving a number of calls from corporations outside the state who wanted to locate near EDS. And so there'll be a lot, I think, of changes that we'll see just outside our borders of our city, near EDS and Frito-Lay, that will affect our city. It will bring in more business. It will create more jobs locally. We know that IBM owns 1,100 acres, and they have about 2 years to build something or revert that land back to its original owner. So though they don't tell us what they're going to do, we think that probably there will be something built there. And I think as a chamber, we're looking at industry. We would like to see something happen down on Highway 121 because that's been zoned a business park, and we think that eventually that will become more of a light industry and corporate offices area. I'm not sure that we will grow to be a large city, but I think we will expand more than we are today.
Okay.
Then, Jim, I think that the chamber is going to be growing right along with the city, and we have some of the same kinds of growing pains as an organization as the city does as it grows. We have some long-range plans, I think, for expanding to the point of having a little more staff so that Lydia doesn't have to wear 15 or 20 hats. And we hope to have a larger office space ultimately, and we have instituted tapping our past president's wisdom. This year we're going to be letting the past presidents form a group to plan for long range for our facilities. And I think, like many chambers, we have hopes in the future of having a facility, a building of our own here in the colony where we can expand the services to the business community to meet the needs as they grow. And so the chamber, I think, will be here for a long time.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.